Okay, so I'm literally using my rearview mirror right now. Say hi! So I can see what's going on. But don't mind that. We're going to Hobby Lobby because it's currently 6:52 and Hobby Lobby closes at 8 and it's 20 minutes away. And I need to get the little wooden balls. So, off to Hobby Lobby. We made it to the Hobby Lobby just in time. We have like 30 minutes to find what we need. It's like super windy, so I hope you guys can hear me. Gulp! Okay, we're in the store. We have to get wooden beads, and I'm not in this Hobby Lobby very often, so I have no idea really. Oh, wait, I think we found it. Wait. This might be it. They have some smaller ones too. Hold on. But I took a picture. That is not what I meant to do. Of the hat in comparison to like my hand, right? Go back. Look. We want it to be like up to the first knuckle, I think, of my hand. So like, what do we think? Is that good? I feel like this is the right size for what I'm looking for. No? Oh, stay alive. This is girl math, guys. Close. What? Wait. Yeah, I feel like that's right. I feel like this is good. Okay. Alrighty. This is good, chat. Now, do I get one or just... I feel like I'm only gonna need one. Famous last words. I feel like I'm only gonna need one. Should I just get two to be safe? I think I'm gonna get two. I'm being tempted. I'm being tempted by the Barnes & Noble. Oh, you can't see it. But she's over there, trust. Trust me, she's over there. Now, let's see if I can open my car. Okay. Now I look like a whole mess. Okay. So, came out pretty okay. Actually, hold on. I crumpled the receipt a little bit. $10.39. That is literally less than this thing costs. Than this thing cost me, bro. This is supposed to be like $11. And I got that, and then I also got these. I only need one, but they don't sell just one. So it's gonna be like the thing that goes like on the neck thing. You get it, you get it. But I kind of just measured this around my head. I looked like a fool in the middle of the store, but we don't need to talk about it. And I should have enough by just getting one. And there was a sale, and we love sales. So this is good. I think I'm gonna go to Menards and get some red spray paint because the beads are obviously not wooden colored. They're red. So we're gonna go to Menards. We're gonna go to Menards. Bruh. And we're gonna get some red spray paint. And then we're gonna start figuring out assembly things. I was thinking about getting some leather strips and things for like the stuff, but we do have leather at home. I have leather at home. Bruh. It'll be pretty easy to cut up and do all that. So I just decided that we'll just wait until we get home. So the Menards. I'm gonna go inside now. Oh my gosh, the wind is going crazy tonight. But yeah, we're gonna go get the spray paint and then we're gonna go home. Okay, so we have two choices here. I feel like this would look nice, but I kind of want to get the shiny red. I feel like that would look better. So this is a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be, to be completely honest with you. But yeah. Alright, time to go.
Alright, so I didn't really do an intro because I didn't really know how to. So let's pretend that this is the intro, okay? Hello. Today we're gonna be making a Portgas D Ace hat. You just saw me collecting all of the materials that I needed from the stores. Everything else I had at my house. And so pretty much everything that I had is kind of like thanks to previous projects and parents doing projects as well, so yeah. But I will be kind of voicing over everything else from here on out. Yeah, so pretty much we're gonna, I have like a script I recorded myself kind of like talking about the plan. I'll go ahead and play that just so you can kind of like visualize what I was visualizing. And I'll throw up some images here too of like kind of the pictures and everything of like my conceptual idea and like my scripts and you know the things that I wrote out. You'll see it in the video, but yeah, I'll put them up so you guys can kind of look at the thought process, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the process of making a hat.
Alright, here we go. This is my plan. So, starting off, we have to gather our materials. So first we have big ring, and we have hat from England. And I got freaking nice. And then I got these from Hobby Lobby. I also got these from Hobby Lobby. But, okay, so the first thing we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Okay, anyways, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take these balls and we're gonna spray paint them. You can have it when you get there. Okay, ready? Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top. We're going to cut out our little circles for the leather and the flame parts. So we have, which I think are maybe a little too big. But I think this hat's just going to be a little bit out of proportion. So this is our framework. I'm going to go to the shop and cut out our circles. Next, we're going to cut out our leather pieces. So for the adjustable strap in the middle, we have this leather circle and then one on the back. So that we can put that little piece of leather sewing into the back of this, so that our strings that come down from here can go through that piece so it can actually slide in and slide in place. And then this, I'm going to be making that out of wood, which is going to be as well, so that we can carve this out. And then I'm not really sure what these feathers are going to be. We're going to make there. It's not really the biggest part of it. Because they look like the leather straps is what I'm thinking. Like a little tassel. I can't see anything. Is there any other tassel? And then these little wooden things. Look basically the same, so I'm pretty proud of that. But yeah, so that's our plan. As you can see, we have everything. And then after, so we're not carving anything onto the leather. We're just going to take your little skull onto it. But this side, we're going to do about carving all the grayed out areas and making lines, and then just carve it out. You can always end smooth. And then we're going to do something down here. These are still in for me. Yeah, the beads are a little bit projected. Oh yeah, and then the glow markers on each side of it. That's what we're going to go. People might say we can mark it over picture, but the beads are like a little bit bigger than what I'm imagining. So you can see, yeah, and then the necklace obviously as well. But we'll have the beads that are on the hat necklace. I'm using my handy measuring. So now we'll go ahead and do it.
Alright, so we're in the garage now, and we gotta figure out how to hang up the beads to basically paint them. So yeah, now you're gonna watch me run around for a bit because I can't find a string to hang it on, only to use the string that's right above my head. Alright, so now we've got the beads hung up, and basically we're just gonna spray paint them. Yeah, that's about it. It's not really very interesting, so. Alright, so we have our two pieces of wood. Those are gonna be the pieces that we're gonna cut, to make the two circles and then to make the little skull that goes in the middle of the like adjust strap thingy. So yeah, I picked out I don't know, picked out the pieces of wood, and now I'm just marking them so that I know how big they are, because I was thinking, oh, I'll just draw a circle, right? I'll just draw a circle, it'll be fine. But then I couldn't find anything the right size, and I don't really know, like, I feel like I have one of those circle things, you know, things that make circles, but I don't really know where that would be, so I just kind of decided to take the square, and just, like, make some squares out of that, piece of wood there, and then, yeah, so I did that for all of those, and then I kind of just guesstimated for the skull, so. Alright, so the next few parts, my dad is kind of, like, showing me how to use the chop saw and the bandsaw, to cut the different pieces of wood and, like, how to do it. He let me use the chop saw, but he wanted to use the bandsaw just because it is, like, that machine can literally take your fingers off if you don't use it correctly, so I'm very grateful that he was willing to kind of help me out with that. But yeah, the clips are going to be kind of loud. I'm going to try and turn them down a little bit, but just be wary. It's going to be, I mean, it's a saw blade, so it's a little bit loud, so yeah. Okay, after we were done cutting the beads, I kind of just, like, yeah, I'm putting the blocks up against the hat just to kind of see what we're dealing with at the moment, kind of see how big I wanted them to be, because I kind of cut the blocks a little close, so literally, like, the circles fit the entire width of the blocks, and I didn't really leave much, like, room for error, so I was kind of just making sure I knew how big they were, but now I'm looking at the designs and trying to see how big I want to cut the leather circles. So I'm taking out my pattern, which is what that was, and then kind of just tracing it out. The hardest part, oh yeah, that blade's, like, super sharp. Ooh, shiny. Yeah, and I didn't really know what to cut it with, so I'm kind of just, like, dawdling around right now, but yeah, eventually I figured out how to, yeah, that failed quite quickly, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I did figure out how to cut it in the end. It was a lot of trial and error. I didn't actually waste any materials, I just kind of wasted my time kind of throughout this process, but yeah, so I'll go ahead and show you so you can kind of see me going back and forth with the process of how to cut it out. I eventually, like, did get a kind of solid thing down where I just started using scissors instead of the blade. The blade worked for a little bit. It works for, like, if you're trying to really shave down the leather, that's what it's best for, but the scissors really is just what I needed to use, so that's what I ended up doing. Yeah, so just cutting out the pieces of leather, and then eventually I kind of moved on from there to the leather strips and the little backing piece, and we also did some leather punches so that I could actually sew the leather together without like having to like wrestle with the leather and like stab the needle through it. And yeah, that's kind of the whole process with the leather pieces that I did. So yeah. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is shaving down the bits of the leather so that I can adhere them together. I cut four strips of the leather for like the straps on the sides because the leather wasn't long enough. the leather that I had. We did find some that was like long enough, but we didn't find that until after I'd finished everything, and it wasn't the right color that I wanted anyways, so it was fine. But yeah, so basically I'm stripping them down. So like the other one I stripped down on the top side, and you can kind of see my dad's kind of helping me out here, but because I wasn't using the tool correctly. But yeah, so we're just kind of shaving it down so that I can put the super glue on it, and then the super glue will stick it together because leather is skin, and so super glue works the best when it comes to sticking those two pieces together. But I also wanted it to kind of be seamless in the sense that it's not going to be like chunky, which is why we cut them at an angle. So yeah, we just finished doing that and then glued them together, and then I sewed them on the hat. And you can kind of see the paint all over my hands. That's because like in like real life I had just finished painting the discs, and I kind of like did things a little bit out of order in the video, so just like ignore that fact. Oh yeah, the super glue did like not want to come out. It was not having a good time. But yeah, so it's a little bit out of order, but you know, the steps like hopefully make sense. Yeah. And then right here you can see that I'm starting to punch holes into the leather so that I can sew the pieces together. So yeah. At this point, I'm sitting tight, thinking, you know what, I'm gonna get to carving, you know, we're just gonna, you know, have a good time, do some carving, right? And then I realized that it was not worth it. The amount of carving that I would have to do to get those blocks down to size while watching freaking, while watching, Marineford was not going to happen. So what we did instead is, you can see here, I cut them down. Well, my dad cut them down over here, so I'm bringing it over here. Yep, exactly like that. So he took it over there to the bandsaw, and he cut on the corners. And then he gave me the scroll saw, which is the, oh, no, that's the Dremel. Can we go back? Yep, scroll saw. There we go. And that's where I, like, cut down the pieces for that, for the skull. Yeah. Oh, we're setting up the camera. Lovely. We love to see it. And yeah. So, what am I doing? Anyways, so now that they're down to size, I gave up on the carving, and we're gonna Dremel it instead, because my dad was like, hey, use the Dremel. It'll be so much easier. And since, like, at my job, I use the Dremel a lot, I was very comfortable with, like, using it, because I'm comfortable holding one, and like, yeah. So pretty much just did a lot of Dremeling. I still had Marineford on. I had it on my phone, and I put it like slightly out of view. And I had my headphones on and like a mask. I went to go get a mask and like glasses and stuff because there was a lot of sawdust. Like, it was all over me. Like, you'll see. But yeah, this was definitely the most enjoyable part of doing it. I really like dremmeling down the wood to get it to the right size. So yeah. Alright, so we're done dremeling, we're done cutting the wood, we're done doing most of everything else. It's kind of just time to get everything together, get it working. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out where I should drill the holes in the circles, which is why I'm kind of lining them up like that. Yay! We can kind of see how it's coming out, so I was really excited at this point, because I could see it forming in my mind and in real life. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to mark the wood blocks with the holes that are on the beads to make sure that, like, the beads aren't going to be at a weird angle when they're strung up, or the blocks aren't going to be, like, turned, I don't know, like, they need to be in the straight line. So this took me quite a while to do, not even gonna lie. But it was worth it because it came out great. So yeah. And then after I marked it, I got my dad to help me set up the machine, the sanding one, the one that I used as a big Dremel earlier. We used that to kind of like drill holes into it. And then from there it was just painting. So yeah, more montage time. Alright, so just kind of getting to the end. The GoPro was literally like probably an hour from dying, which doesn't sound like that. Like, it sounds like quite a while, but like this project took me 12 hours to complete. Like, I was literally working all day, and I had my lunch at like 4:30. It was crazy. So yeah, I was pretty tired as well. But yeah, my dad had the good idea of stapling it, since it's made out of wood, stapling it to there after I hot glued it to kind of secure that in place, which was really smart because I wouldn't have thought of that. And then it was kind of time to do the sewing of the leather and put the pieces together. So the straps had already been put on the hat, obviously, and I just had to check that slide thing worked, which is really nice. My dad was watching Goonies in the other room, and so I was literally sewing this together, listening to the Goonies, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, this sewing part literally ruined my wrist. Like, my entire arm hurt so much from just threading the needle through the leather. But honestly, the result looks so good. Like, I can't even complain, you know? Blood, sweat, and tears, you know? They say Rome wasn't built in a day, but this hat definitely was. That's for sure. And then, for the string, for the necklace around the hat, I just kind of used string, and then, I put a needle on it just so it'd be easier for me to string the beads through. And then I kind of just measured it around the hat. The string that I used for, connecting to the leather, it's like a wax string, I don't know. My dad had it in the box with all the other leather stuff, so I'm assuming it's what you would typically use. But yeah, and then we stapled in the discs. We stapled those into the hat as well, just so the top part wouldn't fall off. And then I ended up stitching the necklace around the brim of the hat. I stitched it like 3 times just so it would like stay in place. If I moved the hat behind me, it wouldn't like fall off, basically. Okay, so the GoPro died while I was filming that last part, but the tassel bit, so I have the two little, I actually used 2 of the little wooden spools, I guess, and I just hot glued those together, and then with the leather straps I just cut them to size, and then cut them so they were a little bit thinner at the ends, and then I put hot glue in the spool, and then just like kind of shoved them in there and let them stick. And then I used extra bits from the from the straps to make the tassels, and you can kind of see that I'm kind of like cutting them up with the blade. So yeah, and then that's it, all completed in one whole day. So yeah, this is kind of what it looks like. Well, not kind of. This is what it looks like. You can see the where I glued the straps, and yeah, and then the stitches on the inside of the hat. I actually had to redo one of the straps because they weren't even on each side, so I didn't record that. I kind of just did it. And then those are the spots that I sewed just a string in just to hold it in, hold the beads onto the hat. And it's not really noticeable at all from the outside. You can see there. So it looks pretty nice. Did a pretty good job. Oh yeah, and then the beads came out great. I let them dry for like a super long time. So yeah, and they look really good. And I used 2 strings around the hat and the necklace just to make sure that it would stick. And then yeah, there's the staples. So, and it feels great like wearing it. Most of the stitching you can't even feel. So yeah. The staples were really a must because the wood pieces really don't move at all, so. Yippee! Alright. That about wraps it up. I hope it was at least interesting. I'm assuming that it was if, you stayed to the end. Comment your favorite One Piece character. If you watched it all the way through. You got here. So yeah, I had a really fun time building this craft. So yeah, maybe I'll upload some pictures of the full costume, or maybe not. Bye bye.